All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Solo Score Rush. Have yet another match after, I think, two consecutive streams in the past 2 hours, and we are back at Seat 9 Astal versus Seat 56 Snow. And I will be your commentator today with Epic Man to say hi.
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 Bro, I was waiting for you to say Nanigaski or something.
That is not. That is not. It's fine.
No, do you know like the freaking reference or something? This one
I
weird ass like.
do, but it's not a very. All right.
Okay.
Welcome
Okay.
to SSR. We have. I think this is one of the last matches of this round 64. I think there's like 2 or 3 more matches, and this is gonna conclude. This is not the last stream, I don't think. I think there's still one more stream in a couple hours,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, as far
Let's
as
just
I
take a
know,
look at this match first.
Yeah, there's like 3 matches left after this one, but with this one being put into the forefront of our focuses, it seems like we are going to be having I think it's Astal like winning the roles, and they're going to be banning Rice Free to start off with, so that's Swan Song being taken out of C here. The C has evaporated, and Snow is going to be banning LN1, so can't slow me, no. They got slowed, I guess. I don't
Yeah. So it seems like Snow is gonna be trying to go for the rice picks, and Astal will be trying to go for the LNs. Maybe?
Yeah.
We'll see.
No, it definitely does appear to be that way. I know that Snow is actually a bit of a. I know them for some of their maps from like some of the older like from some of the earlier years of this decade specifically. Astal is like a bit of more of like a recent entry or player in the Mania sphere, especially. But even then, like some of the performances that she's been pulling off in a lot of these tournaments so far has been nothing short of commendables, especially on the LN side of things, where it does make a lot of sense. And it seems like the first pick is actually going to be Kamiari Algorithm to start things off with.
Is this a warm up?
No, this is the first map pick.
Oh wait, I forgot. It is our rice one.
Yep.
So speed pick. This is picked by Snow, I believe. So far, I mean, accuracy wise is basically the same here. Astal holding 9.9, but Snow is also holding basically 99.9 here. Both players holding the very high accuracies.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, everything seems to be on a very even ground with both these players intact. So far, Astal doing really well to at least uphold themselves to actually have a bit of a lead. Going into the course, you have some of these like really flow-oriented patterns, but then you also have glimpses of like just some tight 1/3 jacks that you have to at least act. And so far, Snow seems to be a bit less consistent when it comes to at least keeping the yellow 300s intact, because it kind of goes a bit more like out of the ordinary places in comparison to Astal here. But even then, Valve points at an advantage to Astal here, and so far, everyone is just really consistent here. No major mistake to be seen here. Even going into the second verse, you get a lot of this more dubcore oriented sections that, while this is still relatively hardcore as a song in general.
Accuracy is actually surprisingly close. Like, I think Snow got 200, or I guess I was just seeing things, but like score lead is basically nothing here. Astal dropping just a tiny bit, but that is not giving the score lead a lot to anyone. I mean, it's a tiny bit towards Astal by like 600, but keep in mind, this is a tournament where we look at the cumulative score gap. So like if it's only at the 3 digits, it's not gonna be that significant at all.
Indeed, so far, indeed. So far, everything has been so equal for both these players. Astal actually getting the first great choke, and so far, the lead is only just really bleeding so close to Snow that it can basically just jump onto their side at any moment. The map only has a few seconds left. Astal is gonna really have to keep everything intact, but the map ends just like that. 199 points of a difference.
10 perfects was the difference.
10. No, what?
We are starting off crazy here.
Okay. Alright. I see what you're going for. I see your approach. Holy moly.
That was great, though. Wow.
Bro, Astal is must be so lucky that Snow's right there really costed him the lead, but even then, everything is just so about equal here, but even then, it seems like Astal's going to be opted in for the LN2 pick, so it definitely makes a little more sense. Both these players are going to be choosing some of the maps that they are more well endeavored in, as for example, like knowing Snow being a bit more of a Rice player, at least knowing them. Kaminari was a good pick to start off with, as much as it was really dangerous. Astal is also really well versed when it comes to LN as well, so definitely makes up for the LN1 ban in question, in which it was gonna have to happen either way, because just having like an LN slot like open for Astal is something that I feel Snow would want to at least prevent. And even then, like when push does come to shove, there is gonna have to at least be some kind of mediation between some of the picks, like overall, when it comes to the maps.
Astal's LN is really strong as well. Let's see if Snow can also compete with their accuracy. Onto the LN side, this is going to be interesting. Let's see if Astal can actually increase the score lead or if Snow can actually keep the tension.
I mean, the tension is definitely going to have to be something that Snow is going to have to keep. I mean, there was definitely quite a bit of traction in the IRC chat earlier, as we've seen, but so far so good. Astal has the upper hand going into this map so far. You get some of these really light LN so far, some of these pretty specific releases that you gotta like let go of at certain points, especially since the melody follows a pretty Dotted Crusher rhythm, as to say the least. So far, the lead is looking pretty good for Astal so far. 5,000 points, and it's really healthy so far. No drops to be seen, and Snow keeps dropping off some of these LNs. Not as confident when it comes to at least releasing and basically just transitioning between some of these shields here. Even getting these Grace, with this being basically a step up from Hypnotize from last week. Snow going to be taking the first drop that is going to at least objectify the lead for Astal here.
That is definitely not what Snow is looking for. The LN seems like Snow is probably more of a Rice bias player compared to the Rice. This map, Snow is really struggling trying to get accuracy and combo here, already missing a couple of times in the map, giving a big 40,000 lead for Astal. Well, she's just holding a 9.84, what?
That is insane. Holy damn.
Halfway through the map, Snow is at bare 98%. That is not very good for them, as Astal just gets the breakaway far away with 45,000 score lead. That is going to be very... This is just not what Snow is looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like with a match like this, this is probably going to be another one of those Rice versus LN battles. But even then, like, we have seen Snow put up a very strong fight on the speed map from earlier, so it's going to really have to rely on a lot of these Rice maps for Snow to really try and snack points off. But even then, I feel like knowing Astal as well, both these players are really close when it comes to Rice skill in general. Just the fact that they had almost the same exact accuracy bar, like 10 perfects on speed. it's really just going to come down to all the other Rice maps, and then also hybrids, as Astal also has that in her favor specifically. Going into the section, 56,000 points of a difference, and the map closes on the final roll. Holy damn, 995k.
Have this time does gain the act back to 99.5, but it was definitely not enough to fight against Astal's 995k V1 double S choke with 2 grades. That is something still needs to look out for, though. It's gonna be Astal's pick again, so I would assume another LN or hybrid.
I mean, it's gonna have to be another LN or hybrid. I know that Astal's probably like really good with a lot of these LNs, and definitely feeling confident right now, riding off that point. But another thing to consider is that I feel it would be just as important for Astal to keep the options open for herself just as much as that may be important. It's gonna be hybrid free. That's the pick. Let's go hybrid free for Epic Man. What are you doing? No, this is not how you're gonna do it.
What? What? that was... Alright. Hybrid free is picked by Astal. This is our tech stream hybrid map by the other commentator. Or the one that just screamed for no reason, you know?
Yeah, this is a map by Poppy, guys. Round of applause. We love Poppy, best mapper.
Right. Of course.
Sign my autograph, please. Sign my shirt. I'm selling it for charity. Alright, going into hybrid free. Manifest. Very technical hybrid. This is the speed hybrid pick of the map pool. So far, Astal in a very comfortable position right now. 3,000 points of a lead. Snow kind of struggling a bit with some of these short LNs, but also a lot of these really odd Rice bursts as well that are thrown in. Snow going to be taking the first blink and dropping thus far. It is now Astal with the objectified lead here going into the first chorus and off the first third of the map.
This map, again, under 2 minutes, which means one miss is quite devastating, but with that big drop from Snow, that is going to give Astal a really good lead already. Accuracy from Snow is trying to gain these Rice sections. Snow is very capable of playing the Rice, but these LNs are what's making it difficult for Snow to gain the accuracy back. Still holding 98.9% accuracy, while Astal is just holding a 9.8. We are already 2% of the way into the map, and the score is only increasing as Snow drops more accuracy back to 98.7. And it's not a very good sign. It might be another big win for Astal, and that is not what Snow is looking for. Definitely needs to try to hold on the Rice. Presumably that Snow would pick another one after this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that would be the most viable option, or at least having to recover from a map like this where the lead is just so big that it basically just brings Astal already to almost 100,000 points of a deficit. And even then, the score, what is that? What do you mean you've V1SS this one map? I don't think anyone, in Dick actually did this thing, when it was actually running, bro, because no one played it. What? What are you doing?
Double S coming in from Astal. 903k. Of course, the ratio is not as high as we saw now in 2 and Rice 1, because this map is pretty difficult to act. But still, V1 double S is something that's pretty insane. I don't know if a lot of players can do that in this tournament.
Yeah, it definitely is something that is insane when it comes to a lot of these maps, but that aside, Snow is the one next in line to pick, and it's going to be Rice 2, exactly as I was praying that we would go back to some of the more straightforward picks. I guess everyone and their moms literally knows what Ego Rock is. I don't know. Literally everyone's heard this song before, even though it's longer. Even though it's 3 minutes long instead of 1 minute long. Somehow, what in the hell?
It's longer. But yeah, this is more of a straightforward pick, which is very logical from Snow. Rice one was indeed extremely close, so Snow is definitely trying to exploit some wins in these more straightforward, simple jump stream picks. And here we go.
I mean, knowing how the speed map has gone earlier, it definitely makes a little more sense to bring this one out, like, in response if you need a counterpoint, especially because of the fact that it really could have been just anyone's game here, but even then, at the same time, this map is also just enough to really foil plans if they don't go right. So that's the one thing I feel Snow is going to really need here, especially with the fact that this one is very trill heavy. We've got a lot of these one-handed trills as well, some of them a bit more intrusive than... Actually, no, not really intrusive for that matter, just really kind of direction heavy as we go into the first chorus already. The song is really fast-paced, only clocking at 225 BPM. This is going to be what you need. You got some bursts here and there. You just really need to coordinate between all these sections. But so far, the lead is only a few hundred points in Astal's favor. So Snow has a very big fighting chance here going past the first third of the map. They just really got to keep hanging on. We're like it's literally the end of the world tomorrow, honestly.
Yeah, wow, this pick is like they are both holding the 99.9 or above. Astal with 99.96. What? I mean, it's gonna come down to the extreme consistency that these two players need. Even a single 200 can really change a lot in this map, it seems. Snow is dropping a tiny bit below 99.9, but does get it back. But Astal holding the probably 1-30 ratio of 99.95. This is something that's... it's so high, but it's also not far away because of Snow's accuracy. But the consistency that they are having right now is just blowing my mind.
Yeah, once again, both these players are pulling remarkable efforts to make it through such an intense map. Snow making it through avalanches just to ensure that they can at least see the map, which is going to be what they exactly need. When you're down in terms of accuracy, you're going to really need the consistency factor to really bring the competition together. And that is exactly what is helping everything be closer. You get this one short break section, but even then, despite the lighter density, it's still super stream oriented. So now Astal's gonna have to miss somewhere to bring Snow that chance. Is there enough time for that to happen?
Somehow Snow is holding the 99.85 and yet it's still 2,000 points lead, but finding that miss! That is gonna be really bad for them! Snow that miss is devastating. Astal getting 997.8k on this map with 129 perfects only.
The ratio different.
And somehow Snow's the ratio.
This is insane. Also, hello Snow. I think we found your doppelganger.
Snow and Snow. So, okay. But that was a really unfortunate miss from Snow.
But yeah, second ban phase going on. Snow bans Hybrid 1. Good pick. You need to have less options for Astal, but Astal's probably going to ban another Rice map. Take a look at this. Luciferine or Gaviscon. Take a look. It's going to be one of them. I don't know. It's probably going to be Luciferine.
It's very likely. Yeah, Rice 5 is going to be banned.
Okay. Okay. I'll show up for now. Don't worry.
That was I just can't get over the fact that the ending miss costed the entire pick from like 1,000 score lead for Astal to like 8,000.
Absolutely. Alright, next in line, Astal's pick. They immediately go for control, pushing the Livium agenda forward to take over the match, as we can see here in the difficulty name. Gooder song, even gooder map. Damn, this is going to be a bit of a tough one. I know that this map is like a lot more technical, as it is the more technical, arguably, map of the Hybrid pool. Or no, the LN pool, I was meant to say. Yeah. Gonna have to see how this one goes. I'm scared.
That is like every single dump you can think of.
Every single dump you can think of. Every dump played at once.
Yeah, pretty much. Typical Livium mapping. Like these, everything is just grace, but slow graces rather, with little bursts.
Absolutely. But even then, like, with a lot of these slow graces, it really just pushes the idea that you really got to keep control of these parents in general. Just the fact that it's a lot of it is just so tight in the fact that you can basically just miss anywhere, and then you're gonna like literally blame it on the map itself, because I don't know, the mapper got a little too silly with it, because it's funny EDM stuff, whatever. But even then, so far, Snow has been choking a bit when it came to a lot of the parents here. The UR is looking to be really unstable as it just explodes down there. It's still going to be having the upper hand of about 10,000 points of a deficit.
49.8 in this map is indeed very strong here. Snow is of course struggling a little bit on the L1 releases, dropping a couple accuracies. I just saw a couple hundreds there actually. That is going to increase the lead all the way to 14,000 for Astal. Not a very good sign, so it drops below 99%. We are only halfway into the map. These L1 releases are definitely no joke, especially for a more Rice biased player like Snow. These releases are super difficult to deal with.
Absolutely, and in general, this map is just long. Just the fact that it is 2.5 minutes, but it feels really long when you have that. When you have to remember for a fact that a lot of these releases in general are like just really all over the place. Like there's just no consistent place where each of these LNs just ends, and the fact that you have like some reverse shields thrown in as well, some jacks as well, some of these anchors for that matter, to really just add onto the extra pressure into the map. Really got to put in that CPR in the map. But even then, from what it looks like, Astal's been handling all of that so elegantly, going throughout this map. Only the final 8 of the map left. But if things are going their way, Snow gonna be taking the miss. It's over.
A final miss at the ending from Snow, choking the FC, but the accuracy was definitely on Astal's side with only 1 grade in this map. Come on, you cannot be serious.
Oh my goodness, 1 grade? You're so
in
special.
Such a awkward L1 release map, only 1 grade is something that's just super scary. Like seat 9 performance apparently. It's really difficult. And this map, with all these releases, Astal manages to breeze through the patterns and get only 1 grade, choking V1WS. Snow getting the 98.3% there. Unfortunately unable to hold the accuracy, giving Astal a whopping 141,000 score lead now.
Indeed.
And that is going to be it, because it's the 5th map and they have more than 100,000 score lead.
Yeah. Well, even then, a remarkable effort from the likes of Astal, managing to win off of every pick in the map pool, which is crazy. There was definitely a lot of maps where I felt that Snow could have had the advantage had it gone through their way. Rice one was definitely the strongest pick throughout the entire map pool. But at the end of the day, Astal's going to be the one advancing into the round of 32 winners bracket, facing off against Tevelkin, C24. And I believe that is also Snow's opponent for next week in the losers bracket.
Yep. Snow definitely has a really strong component in Rice. Like, in Rice 1, the score lead was nothing, and Rice 2, it was just that one miss that gave Astal a little bit of a score lead, but Snow's Rice is just really strong for a seed 56 here, but it's just the Ellen components that's a little bit off for them. And definitely best of luck to Snow and Astal here in the next round in round 32.
Absolutely. Very well done to both of these players. You should give yourselves a pat on the back. But we still have about 3 matches left today. I opened the wrong tab. Give me a second. We should be having just a few matches left. So gonna be. Oh, it seems like the over 2 matches have been won by default. So it's gonna be, I think, the final round or the final match. It's gonna be Tornadoes versus Zeno Pingueno.
Yeah. It will be at 21:30 UTC, which is in like 4.5 hours. Oh wait, 4 hours now.
Yep.
So, 5. I can't do math. 5 hours.
Yeah, it's 5 hours.
That is gonna be it. Oh, it's my birthday. Let's go.
Oh. Guys, start wishing Poppy happy birthday in the chat right now. Come on. Come on. Just before the city collapses. Come on. Let's go. Bring it on. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
That's. Alright.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That is gonna be it for this stream. This is best of luck to these players, and yeah, that is about it.
Yep. Yeah, with the final match intact in a few hours, we hope you all can tune in then. That will be the end of the round of 64, and then we should be expecting perhaps a round of 32 showcase tomorrow, early next week.
On Monday, yeah.
Yep. Alright. Stay tuned. See you all then.
Alright, see ya.